I've been using this Core Ice house for a couple of day trips and a couple of ice camping trips. And in fact, I just got back from the Core Ice headquarters where I'll have them in this video. I'll jump to a couple of clips where they walk through like the water system and the awesome e-drive system that's in this trailer. But I wanted to give you a full walk around of what's inside of this trailer, how I have it set up this year, some ideas and thoughts, and some of the unique, really cool things that Core Ice House has. I'm losing my voice. I did a 5.5 hour live stream last night where I was talking nonstop. And as you know, when you go ice fishing, things are dry. One other thing I want to be very clear on is this is not a sponsored video. I have no business relationship with Core Ice. They don't sponsor me. I get no money from them. They get no money from me. I don't guarantee videos to them or content. I don't guarantee I'm going to say certain things. They don't get to review my videos. This is simply a guy, myself, that creates content that reached out and said, hey, I'm in the market for an ice house in the next few years. I like what I see from your brand. How about I borrow one of your units this year, give you my feedback on it. You get it back. I'm giving this back at the end of the year. And I create videos, so you're gonna get a lot of people with eyeballs on this. And hopefully, if your product is great, I'm gonna be transparent and unbiased, that could actually be seen as a boost for your business. So they were willing to take the gamble with me to say, we believe in our product and that it's absolutely incredible. So we're gonna let you take one, and fingers crossed, everything that you say is good news for them. And I've been very impressed with the unit. So let's go ahead and jump into the walkthrough. So as you walk in the house, what's great obviously about all of the windows in this unit is you've got a blackout shade that can go up, that kind of obviously blacks out. And then if you pull it down, both down, it's probably hard to see here, but there is a screen here. So if you have the window open, you can go ahead and use a screen. And if you want to, you can unclip it. And now you've got just your window. We can open her up if we want to. And you can prop it at any angle that you want to. So if you want some fresh air coming in, every one of the windows in here works the same way. You can either fully lock them shut, or you can go out a little bit and you can lock them cracked open as well. So they've got some really nice windows in here. These are dual pane windows, so you're not gonna get all of that frosting, freezing, and things like that too. So as you come in the front door here, we're gonna walk towards the back and then we'll come back up to the front here. What I've got is a bunch of holes. So I went to Core Ice just recently here and I had them put in some extra holes. So you can design the whole layout in these almost any way that you can imagine. They started actually building the units without holes in the floor, so that way you can design where you want them. So I use live imaging, which you can see right here. And as you probably know if you're watching the channel, so there's a hole here, and then there's an axle thing here. So I might have them put a smaller hole in here, but the normal size catch cover won't fit here. Got a hole here, hole here, hole here. So what that does is it gives me 4 holes kind of in line here, the longest way that you can go across the house, because we do have the raised floor, which we'll talk about why that's like that in a little bit here. So we've got those 4 holes, and then where I'm standing here, and yes, you're not in wheelhouse life unless you've got slippers on. Got to wear slippers. Put them on your packing list. You'll be so happy you packed them. Then behind that, we've got a row of 3 as well, which works out great for putting a camera down, live imaging, extra jigging holes, those types of things. And then you can put holes under there. There is a hole under here as well. I've got it set up in this way because this is a typical setup in the 8019. There's some custom things that we're going to talk about that I had them do to this unit that I absolutely love. And you need to comment down below if you think that they're awesome additions, and reach out to them if you want them added in yours too. So this is a bench seat, right? It's super comfortable. And what I like about it is it actually goes all the way back to the wall too. So you have some storage space. You could put a rod locker or something back here. I, of course, have mine hanging up, and so I don't need to use that space for that, but nice little storage area back there. And these are rollover sofas. This is one that I had them add in. There's a spot here you can see on the floor. What they do in the previous version of this 8019 is they actually had a pedestal boat seat sitting here. Well, what I said was like, get me another sofa here, because you can perfectly fit 2 people here on the seat on both of these. These are the exact same size. So now you've got 2 people that can sit here if you want to, which is great because it's right in front of the TV, right? So you can watch TV, sit in front of the fireplace. It's way better than one boat seat and then having people sitting back here. So these are rollover sofas. So what that means is they just roll over into a flat bed. Normally you'd put the legs down if you're going to be laying on it or sitting on it, but it rolls down. This takes up half of this back space, and then there's another one here that I have propped up that can come down, and then that's a full bed back there. I was just out here with my brother-in-law, and that's where he slept, and he said it was incredibly comfortable. They do not take shortcuts in the cushioning that's in these. I slept on the sofa, a rollover sofa like this in a different unit last year, and it was incredible. So we've got this guy here, that guy there. I typically leave this up because then I can access all of these holes here, which is absolutely, I found, the best way to fish. If you're by yourself, you could even leave that back one up, and then you've got even more space because you can have more storage or more holes and things back there. So now that we've talked about the holes, kind of what I've got along the floor. So you've got a fire extinguisher that comes with the unit. And so there's a spot there for that because you're going to want to make sure that you have that. And then I've got my live scope unit that sits right here, which is great because I can hook it up directly to the TV if I want to as well. I'm getting some reflections because I have the different windows open. So you get a lot of nice daylight in here, even with all the things that are on the walls taking up some of that wall space. So this is a live stream that we did just a couple days ago, which is where I lost my voice. Next to the live scope unit, I usually just throw my waxy container there. Really nice spot. This is a 19 quart Engel live bait cooler. It fits really well in between these couple of holes here. And then what works up good is this is the kind of strapped up other bench seat, if you will, part of the dinette. You can get a table. I think it actually comes with the table. I didn't take it, but it comes with a table that you can put here so that way you have a table set in the back here. I'll kind of give you another angle. I'm sure there's some pictures here that I can throw in here too, but both of those back ones can go down and you have a table. So if you want to dinette, sit out here and fish as well. Depending on how many people you got out here and what you're looking to do, that works pretty good, but it works really good. I've got these bags down here for tackle. And so those push back up in there, and I still have access to all of my holes, which is great. Centrally located, so somebody can sit back here and fish. This is where my brother-in-law was fishing. This is where I was fishing. You could fit 2 people on each, but we had 1 and 1. And then you've got a ton of space in front of you to jig, put live scope down if you want your own Vexilar or whatever you got. You can put a deadline here, a camera here, use it as a little cooler hole or whatever the heck you want to do. As we move up a little bit here, one of the really cool things about Core is their Core rail system. So you've probably seen like this type of thing before. This is the Core rail system, right? The silver, right? Aluminum. Well, they now have black anodized. So if I didn't have anything on there, it would blend in and you wouldn't really even realize that there was a Core rail there. So there's a Core rail here that came standard. And I've got a ton of accessories on here. I've got, this is the Eskimo table that I've just got on a puck that is on this kind of eagle claw puck, which then I can move anywhere that I want on the Core rail, slide it all around anywhere in the house. This is a catch cover rod holder here. I've got a table. This is an Outfitter's Edge table. This is like one of my favorite accessories. Not cheap, but it has a bracket under here. This thing can hold 30 pounds. You got a spot here for tools along the sides. I put my laptop here when I'm live streaming. Sometimes I put a camera here. There's a ton of things that you can put there. These tables are great. And what I absolutely love about it is because this is a toy hauler, obviously, is if I pull my toy hauler in, I don't need to move that table. The table, I just take the accessories out, throw them in a different spot here, and I can go underneath the table, fold it up, and then it folds flat against the wall. So, and then I just lift it up, pop that bracket in the slot there, and I'm good to go fishing again. A couple other pucks here. We got another rod holder. So that's that area. Next to that, this is where they've actually got one of the jacks. So this is an all-electric jack system, which as soon as we get done on the inside, I'll show you how I drop the house on the outside. But this is a an electric jack. I think it's kind of like a tongue jack. Yep. So they've got one at the tongue. They've got one on the right and the left. This system is incredible. We'll talk about that as we drop the house down and lift it up outside in a little bit. But those are accessible here. You can actually control them in here. There's a little switch in there if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, there's a control panel where you can control everything too. Or you can even do it through your phone on an app. There's buttons outside too, so there's a lot of options. Nice little table here where you can set some stuff, set a drink or something like that. Next to that, they've got a cigarette lighter port, which inside of that, I've got this 3 USB ports because I've got a lot of electronics going that I can pull 12 volt power for. They've actually got a USB port above that. And then they've got an outlet, which I've got kind of a power pack plugged into. That gives me kind of more reading on what I'm pulling, a lot of USB-C and A and outlet ports. So a lot of cool things that I can do there. We've also got the fireplace here, which is a standard part of the package. We can turn it on. You can change the color on this thing. Let me see if I can do that. There's a bunch of different options you can do. So I could change the colors of the flame, of the rocks. There's a lot of really cool things you can do. And it's actually an electric heater too. So you can use it as a backup heat source. This thing's got a Truma furnace in it. The controller's up there that we're gonna talk about. And then you've got vents that come out in a couple of different spots as well. And that can be ran off of propane, or it can also be ran off of electric for the Truma furnace. Plus you've got this as backup heat. So you got a lot of extra heat options if you run out of a certain situation. This is just kind of a temperature puck that I'm testing that allows you to read temperature remotely in here. This is the entertainment center. What I love about this is just how compact it is, but incredibly like high level thought out. Like these are some of the best speakers that I've heard. I don't know if they're the same or different than the ones that I had last year. These are the Jensen speakers. They sound absolutely incredible. This is actually a DVD player, radio, stereo system that hooks up to the TV. So there's a lot of really cool things there. You can put HDMI into this. I've got Google TV on it. You can watch cable TV. You can do whatever the heck you want on this thing, depending on your input sources that come in. And these are either 12 volt. Well, they all actually run off a 12 volt. So it's either an AC TV that runs off of a 12 volt converter, or it's just a straight 12 volt TV. This Jensen, I believe, is just a straight 12 volt TV. Now, I've got a lot of other stuff going on here because of my filming, and some people like to see this stuff and some don't. So I'll go through it quick and can always go deeper into it. So there's a nice tabletop shelf similar to what you've got down there right here below the TV. Nice blue black backlight. It's really, really nice. This is actually a swivel mount TV, so you can pull it out and turn it if you want to. But I've got an arm clamped here that allows me to put my primary camera. I use a Sony a7S III. I'll link everything that we talk about in this video down below, from accessories on core rail mounts to the angle cooler that I use to the mattress that I use and everything like that. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, you can check it out down below. And clicking those links does obviously help the channel out as well. So go ahead and do that if you want. I've got a little light here that I can flick on. This is really good for low light conditions, or like if I'm showing a fish to the camera, this actually lights up the fish a little bit to get a little bit of that glow off of it, which works really well. So I've got that. I can articulate it. Sometimes I have a microphone that goes on top of that. Otherwise, I work off of the chest mics. This is what's called a Rodecaster Video. I just got this last week. I did my second stream with it this week. And this allows me to plug in a bunch of video sources into it and kind of use it as a video switcher, scene switcher, and a lot of cool things that I can do with that. I've got a Google TV remote here. This is a case for a DJI Osmo that I am actually filming with right now. So I left my primary camera set up here. Cables are all back there. So I've got everything hardwired in. So this is actually plugged in with USB power, USB power. This is USB power. Everything's powered, which is why I needed the power over here. I've got a clamp mount here for a GoPro. So this GoPro points out to kind of get that face shot that you'll see in some videos here of both people here. And then as we look up, there's another GoPro that's looking down. And that's what's giving us the down view of the holes that you'll see in videos as well. So I've got both of those set up for if I get out here and I just want to pop a hole and get fishing right away, I just click boom, boom, because these are hardwired in with power as well. I leave these out here. I just switch out the SD cards in them, and then I'm good to go. Then I don't leave this camera out here. I put that actually in a case that you saw back here, camera and laptop stuff here. I actually use this for other things too, so it comes out of the house. So does this. This whole shelf gets cleared off, but the GoPros and the arm stay, and that's it. So that's kind of my camera setup that I've got. And then, of course, I love using the speakers and stuff. Up above here is a storage cabinet, which I honestly haven't even really used a whole ton, but there is storage capabilities there. And then we've got the upper bunk. So this is a queen size bed that's actually extra long because this is an 8-foot wide unit. So I bought a queen mattress. I'll link which one it is off of Amazon because it just comes up with like a blow up mattress for in there, which I didn't even use. I bought this queen mattress. This thing is incredible. It is so freaking comfortable. It's incredible. So I'll link which mattress it is. I bought all that stuff, obviously. So I'll link that, put a sheet set on there, and then I opened up my sleeping bag to be double wide, and I just laid it on kind of as a comforter cover, and I got a couple pillows up top. But what I love about this strategy is that if you push it all the way to one end, you now have a ton of storage space up here. So if you've got a duffel bag, if you've got your toiletries, if you've got a rod case, if you got anything that you want to kind of have out of the way while you're during the day using it, or up there by you while you're in bed, you can shove extra things down there. This is a good foot that you've got extra space there, which works really, really well. And there's still enough clearance here, over 6 feet of clearance here, even with the mattress up there, to be able to walk underneath it as well. Which you can see here, I'm standing underneath it right now, and I'm 5'11". If I don't have my hat on, I'm 5'11", and you can see I've probably got 3 to 4 inches above my head. So that's probably 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", somewhere in there, because I do have slippers on as well. As we move back from the entertainment center, there is a core rail that I had them add here. This is not common, but I did have them add this. I think this is something that they're hopefully going to be able to do standard in the future. I don't know. You guys comment down below if you think this would be useful. But if you've got this thing flipped up, right, and I'm fishing here, I want rod holders, a table, I want a cup mount, like that type of thing. I want to be able to do in front of me, otherwise that's all dead space. So they threw a core rail in there. It works absolutely phenomenal. Standard core rail up there, which is fine. It's okay for some accessories, especially if you're not sleeping in the unit. But if you drop this bed down, you can't use this core rail for anything that's more than 3 inches thick, because otherwise the bed is going to hit it, right? Whereas down here, you can actually leave things on here and still drop this down a couple feet. It'll be tight if all you do is move it down to here, because you do have to have it strapped up, otherwise it will fall down. But anyways, it's really nice to have that core rail system there. This is something I'm actually incredibly excited about as well. So this is the toy hauler door in the back, and that's right. That is a core rail all the way across that toy hauler door. I'm so glad that I had them put this in here. It's something that I think they should just do standard, in my opinion. This is aluminum, right? So you can drive over it with a tracked unit with tires. Like, you're not gonna hurt it. I'm really excited about that because it allows you to be sitting here and have some accessories next to you. Rod holders like this guy here is a 4-place rod holder. You can throw rods in there. So I've got space for 8 rods. I got a little table here, little cup holder you could have here. You know, you could do a little rod holder like this guy up there. There's a ton of different options that you can do since you have that core rail. That I think is phenomenal. Let me know if you guys think this is a good idea. And then of course, underneath each of these, again, you can fit 2 people here. Big window behind. I did close the window because it's easier for lighting in here while I'm filming. Underneath there's storage here. So I've got milk crates and everything fits great underneath there. Milk crate size is the perfect size to fit underneath each of these. And then same with this one, which is great. Above it, there is a core rail just like on the other side, but on this wall, I had them actually continue the core rail. This was a custom add-on as well. Continue the core rail all the way to this front wall, because now I can add things like a paper towel holder. I've got other accessories that I sometimes hang up here as well, but you now have more space for that. Because one of the things is, as these RV units specifically really get built out with like the entertainment center, in the kitchen, in the fridge, and in all of that is you lose spots for core rail. Well, may as well optimize and get core rail wherever the heck we can have it. Well, guess what? I had them add even more core rail down below. So now I can actually line this with rod holders, which works great, because what we were able to do is when we're sleeping at night, we put this down. My brother-in-law was down here. I was up top, so that came down. We couldn't have rod holders back there. We couldn't have rod holders here because that flipped down. All we do is pick up the pucks, put them over here, and we're good to go, which works out really, really well. Even if we don't use them back there during the day, they work out great back there during the night. The other thing behind this guy here, this is a wheel well, right? And so that's why this is built out a little bit. You do have that kind of nice storage here because this goes back. But on top of the wheel well, there is a full flat kind of tabletop surface there, which works great for. I've got my duffel bag back here, so my clothes can sit back there. I'm not worried about them getting wet or anything like that. If I took the rod holder thing out of there, I'd have even more. So you can throw your clothes out of the way without having them on the floor. Up above, one of my favorite core rail accessories that Core has is these shelves. I've got some hats and a couple accessories up there right now, but this is good for like chips, bread, snacks, clothes, boot socks, hats, gloves, kind of whatever the heck you want to put in here. And this can go anywhere on any of the core rail. So you can move it, which is great because it's not a permanent fixture like if you had cabinets put in up there, which you could do, I think. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can. But this you can move around wherever you want, and it's still open airspace, which is great. This is a homemade core rail accessory, which is just like a hook from like Menards on one. And then this is one that they make, which is a little coat hook on a 3D printed puck. And as you can see, I've got my ice fishing suit hanging from there. Next to that, you've got 12 volt cigarette lighter port. You've got power delivery port here with like a voltmeter built into it. So you can charge stuff up there. In an outlet, I've got a Google Home here. So you can say things like this. Hey Google, what's the temperature in Otter Tail County right now?
Currently in Otter Tail County, it's minus 21 degrees.
There you go. That's the temperature right now. This is a thermometer for the Truma air system, and I got a couple command strip hooks here as well. Below this, we'll let one of the guys from Core kind of walk through the eDrive system. I think Jesse did a segment, so I'll put that in here. But this thing is phenomenal. I am absolutely ecstatic about this system. Between the charging, the inverter, I can get, with all of the electronics that I have going, plus more, plugged in, juiced up, I can get over 24 hours of usage out of this system without ever having to run a generator.
All right, I'm out here with Jesse, and one of the things that we're gonna look at that this trailer has that's an upgrade option is the eDrive functionality in this one that I'm really excited about. I've had it out a few times already this year, but Jesse's gonna tell us about the different package options that there are, and specifically what this one has that you're gonna see out on ice this year.
The whole concept of eDrive is to have home-like convenience out on the ice or out camping. We have in a cabinet here a bunch of power electronics. We have lithium batteries under your sofa. We have an option sheet for eDrive that starts at a basic lithium conversion that gives you lithium batteries and that convenience with solar maintenance and get rid of the lead acid. That's kind of the bottom of our option sheet. As you step up through the levels, level 1 would be like a 2,000 watt inverter. So think of like a Honda 2000 generator with a single large battery, like a 4 kilowatt hour battery. So some of those conveniences, but not everything all at once. What you have in this trailer, we call level 2. So you have 8 kilowatt hours of battery. You have a really beefy inverter that would let you run multiple appliances at once, and really kind of sophisticated monitoring. So you can watch the status of your whole trailer from home on an app, for example.
Yeah, I played around with this screen a little bit already this year. I really like how much detail that it gives you. Like right now, this is hooked up to shore power, right? So this is telling us that on the grid there, we've got power coming in, it's solar coming into it, and it can show us the AC loads, the DC loads, and our remaining battery life. This thing's pretty cool, and it's really interactive as well. And in another video, I'll go deeper into how I've been using this thing, but I really do like this a lot.
One of the nice things about using the high-end electronics is we have remote monitoring. So this app is actually showing exactly what's happening in the trailer through the internet. So if you have a hot spot or something, and you want to keep an eye on what your trailer's doing, you can watch it on here. And there's even the opportunity to add like some temp and motion sensors for anti-theft and water sensors, everything like that. So once you step up to our level 2 system, you get It's pretty sophisticated electronics, very nice name brand stuff, very reliable. Most of that is living in this cabinet here. This is called an inverter charger. Victron is a very established player in the power electronics market, and this can do 2400 watts continuous, 5500 watts boost. Boost is pretty neat. If you have a 15 amp cord or a small generator and you're trying to charge and also maybe run your lights, air conditioning or whatever, and that cord from your shore power can't provide enough for what you need, this inverter will actually draw from the battery to give you big power boost. You can start the air conditioner, you can start water pumps and things like that. We have a fairly small solar charger in here because you have a 240 watt panel, I believe, on the roof. You can also do option a full roof of solar. So in this trailer you would get, I think, 1250 watts on a full roof. Our biggest trailer we can get 2500 watts, which is pretty much, in the summer you can camp indefinitely. There's some other items here, fuses, communication module, etc.
Really well done in here. Like, I like how clean it is. I think that's one of the things that I really like about the Core Ice stuff, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here with you, but like the attention to detail and the, like, this thing's got a door on the front of it that's a trifold door with lighting that lights up when you open the door. Like, it just, you guys have done a really nice job making sure it's clean and well polished and it's not messy cords all over the place. And I know that takes time, but there's a reason behind that, right? It makes it easier to maintain, and if you run into any issues and if you want to change things down the road.
Absolutely, we can upgrade this easily. You can easily service things. We can shut off the solar panels from here, change fuses. We take wiring very seriously here at Core. We do not think just simply pulling wires through holes in a frame is a good idea. Everything we do is meant to be a lasting vehicle grade wiring installation. But when we talk about eDrive, I think it's important to step back and say, what are we doing with this? Well, we started out doing eDrive in professional trailers, and it was replacing generators. The generator in a professional work trailer might run 40 hours a week or more. It actually piles up a lot of expenses over the years of oil changes, fuel, and everything. When we replace that with lithium and solar, the system actually pays itself back in 10 months, which is pretty incredible. By the end of the trailer's life, the trailer would have paid itself off just by selecting eDrive in your savings. It's a little harder calculation and recreational, but what we think it is the ability to enjoy your trailer quietly like you would enjoy your house at home. And that goes along with a lot of our things, like our furnaces with the variable speed fans and things. Just trying to make it more modern and home-like. So when we look at eDrive, it's a four-legged stool. It's a very well insulated structure, because if you're doing heating or cooling and you have a poorly insulated structure, you're wasting your money on batteries. So we know the composite insulated structure of the trailer is excellent. It's lithium batteries. They're self-heating, so you can charge them in the cold. It's solar. Our base eDrive offerings have at least one solar panel to make sure that in storage you're not letting the batteries go low over weeks or months. And then it's the 120 volt AC power. So that gives you that home-like convenience, the ability to run microwave, air conditioning, etc. That's the four pieces of eDrive. It's not simply a lithium conversion.
Right, that makes sense. One of the other benefits that I like of the eDrive system is where you place the batteries. The cabinet space up front where you typically had batteries before is now cabinet space that you can use for storage.
This isn't space that you can use for anything else. And it's actually within the width of the wheel well, so it doesn't limit the size of vehicle you can pull in. Still very serviceable. There's actually a disconnect switch accessible right here if you're going to be in long-term storage. The neat thing about lithium is you have almost 100% usability. Keep it above 5 or 10. Be nice to the battery. You have, say, 90% usability. In a lead acid battery, once you get down to 50%, you're well under 12 volts. You're hurting the battery and the battery's dead.
And then below that, we've got Kyle that walks us through a segment around the water system and how that works. We'll pop over to that.
All right, so Kyle, I know one of the really cool things about this unit that was different from the one that I had last year is this has a full water system in it, and there's a few unique things about it with the RV packages that you have. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. When we decided to bring water on board and create our RV edition, one of the things we said had to happen is that we wanted the ability to use hot water, the shower, the toilet, the sinks, whether it's 40 below Fahrenheit or it's 115 Fahrenheit above. So giving you the ability to be out on the middle of Red Lake, the middle of winter, 40 below, and have a hot shower, wash your hands, clean dishes, do all that kind of stuff. So we use European appliances, similar as we have for years. The Truma Combi appliance that's in here it's a cool appliance. It's actually a dual purpose, so it's your furnace and water heater in one. Big advantage there is there's just one small couple-inch hole in the wall, so it's a lot more efficient. It's not you're not losing heat and energy out the wall. When the furnace is running, you basically are getting free warm water.
One of the things that I notice about this unit that a lot of people have asked questions about is the raised floor in here. It's not just a design feature, there's actually a reason for it.
Yeah,
right?
there's a big benefit to that, and that's part of the ability to be able to use the hot water in cold temperatures. So our tanks are above floor, so they're in a completely enclosed, insulated cavity. There is a heat duct that goes through there. So that way, when you put water in it and you're running the water in the wintertime, we're not going to freeze the tanks. So in the 8019 model, you have 20 gallons of fresh, 40 gallons of gray, 33 gallons of black. Basically, why we separated that way is if you were to bring additional water, you could refill your fresh tank and still have capacity to carry that gray and black water. But the system is extremely simple. One of the big advantages of it is very low maintenance. There's an access door around here with some valving, basically just simple plastic valves. Right now, as you currently see it, it's in kind of your run position. Up top, you'll see there's a winterizing valve and a bypass valve. So by turning the white and red lever up, there's a plastic line that you can put into an antifreeze jug, and then you can run antifreeze through the entire system. This takes about a little bit less than a gallon to winterize this unit, so pretty efficient there. But we don't want to put antifreeze through the water heater, so that's why the bypass exists. And then other than that, you have 3 valves down on the floor. Turn those valves 90 degrees and it will drain the entire system down. And literally that's it. Pretty simple.
One other thing that we talked a little bit about earlier is that there's different modes between propane modes and electric modes. How would a person typically use that?
Yeah, one of the big advantages of the combi, the model that we use anyways, is you can run the furnace either through electric power or propane power. Now with propane, you're going to get a lot more BTUs, so when it's colder out, obviously propane is going to allow you to heat in colder extreme temperatures. But in the controller up here, you can actually set it to a mode where it's a mix, and in that mix mode, it'll prioritize electric for the heating, but if you need more BTUs, then the propane will kick back on. So when you're out and if you're running the generator for a while, it can run off electric heat, so that's saving propane. Or if you're at home and you have your trailer plugged in, you have fluid in the tanks, or you want to keep the trailer warm, you can just run off electric heat and not be using propane in those situations. It's a cool feature. One of the biggest benefits from a safety aspect is you have dual fuels. So if you're out and your tanks freeze or you run out of propane, you still have the ability to create heat with the electric burner that's in the combi. And that kind of parallels with your electric fireplace. Having dual fuels on board is just really good in case you're stranded out somewhere, you can stay warm.
Great, thank you.
What I do in here is I have a bucket with my ice scoop here. So as you move the slush out, you can go ahead and throw that in there. One little trick of the trade, if you don't know, one of the benefits of having this many holes is if you're out by yourself or even with 2 people and maybe you're not going to use all the holes, is once you drill your holes, if there's a hole or 2 that you're not going to use, take the cover off, scoop your slush out, put it in that hole. There's no reason not to. You probably got enough space below the house, so you may not even need the bucket situation. But if you're keeping fish or anything like that, it's nice to have a bucket in here. So it fits kind of nicely up in this little nook and cranny out of the way and not blocking any of the vents there. On the ceiling, this thing's got an AC unit in it. It's got a roof vent. This is like a high-end vent. Like you can actually set it to different settings, in, out, speed settings. You can have it auto depending on a temperature, open, like there's a lot of crazy things you can do with it. So towards the front of the unit, past this side here, we do have a raised floor. Everything behind this raised floor is considered your garage space. So this flips up just like that one, just like that one. I can fit a fully tracked ATV. I'll put the dimensions on the screen of what you can fit in here, length and width. Based off of my dimensions that I will measure, even with this added in, which does take up a little bit of your width, but it's absolutely worth it as long as you still have enough width for your unit, which I have more width even with this in here and this in here than I did last year. So this raised floor, the reason why it's there is your water tanks are in here. This is an RV model that has full water package. We've got fresh water, gray water, black water. We've got a shower, a toilet, 2 sinks in here. This thing is decked out. It's negative, you heard, negative 20 something out right now. It got to negative 40 plus while we were out here, and I was taking hot showers every day, flushing the toilet, washing dishes in my hands. I'll tell you this, when you're out here catching those pike, that slime, that stench on your hands when you're not targeting them, there's nothing better than running to the bathroom, washing your hands. I know it's bougie, but you know what? If you're gonna be cooking food after, there's nothing like a nice hot water, wash your hands with soap and dry them off with a towel. So I know I'm spoiled in this unit and I think it's absolutely great. We've got a fridge. This fridge is actually really decent sized. You've got a ton of space for like milk jugs, orange juice jugs, that type of thing in here. Water, energy drinks in here. These are Celsius that I have here, a couple more up here. And then inside of the fridge itself, you've got a couple of different drawers here. Nice little shelf here. Everything's obviously adjustable. Nice rack shelf. And it has a freezer. This is an insulated freezer door. And I have noticed there's nothing under here freezing, and these are rock solid frozen. I got some pizza rolls, some burgers, that type of thing. This fridge is awesome. I absolutely love it. This is something that in any unit moving forward that I would buy and purchase, I would want to make sure that I get a fridge in it, because there's just something about having a fridge, whether it's ice fishing or if you're using it for a camper, it's nice to have that fridge. Above that fridge is a ton of storage space that I will call your pantry. Lots of great lighting in here. I've got it as a mess right now. I think it'd be great to have like a nice little shelf here, maybe a shelf system that hangs down from the core rail, or you can screw something in. But this is actually a slide out. I don't know if it's a spice rack or something. There's a clip here for travel, and then this actually slides out. You can pull it all the way out if you want to. I'm not going to right now, but that slides out, and you can see, you can keep everything in here from pots and pans to paper plates, Ziplocs, you name it. I've got a Keurig in here, pizza pizzazz, lots of cool things. So on the cooking side, you've got another little cabinet here where I've got cleaning supplies, 409, disinfecting wipes, dish soap, a couple cables I got wrapped up in there too. You got an outlet below that. You've got a fully articulating sink, sprayer handle thing, hot water, cold water, you name it. It's covered so you have a full flat surface, or you've got a nice sink underneath there. You've got a 2-burner cooktop, which is great. You've got your exhaust fan for when you're doing those fish fries out here, and you got an awesome microwave up above it. As you go below the cooktop here, you've got a bunch of different drawers. I just use these as storage for a hat and gloves in each of these, and then kind of that junk drawer for all the things that you don't really have another spot for. Underneath the sink is big and open. I've got trash down here, trash bags, and that type of thing. On the end here, you've got your core panel. So this is your full like lighting, everything system, tanks, everything there. And then this is a core rail that I had them add, and I can fit a full 5 rods here if I want to, which is great, or any other core rail accessory. This is another thing that I had them add custom, which gives you a lot of utilization of that space, which is absolutely great. Up above that, you've got your thermostat control, which you can run off electric, propane, a mix between the two, your hot water heater, like fan speed, everything there. This thing has an awning on it, which you can control. And then there's some accessories and hanging things up above the door here. This is where you have your air conditioner control. I've got a Verizon hotspot. This is a Verizon actual internet pack. This is not a hotspot jet pack. This is an actual internet, home internet type solution that I sometimes use just for day trips. Otherwise, I'll throw Starlink outside, which you'll see in a second. As we walk into the bathroom, you've got a toilet. This is a full flush toilet. Self-explanatory, plenty of space on either side there. I hung a command strip toilet paper holder, which works out absolutely fantastic. You got a breaker box up here with a kill switch for your batteries, depending on the battery situation you got. This thing's got the eDrive system, so that's actually located up front. You've got cabinet space up here, which I just use for like, you know, first aid kit, toiletries, those types of things. Do whatever obviously you want in there. Then you've got your fan in the bathroom, and yep, that's a cord coming in. This cord, I removed the screen from here so I could feed a cord out. This is the Starlink cord coming in. I feed it across the back. And then on the counter here, this is the Wi-Fi router, power supply, right into a nice outlet, 2 outlets that they got here. And then you've got a 12-volt power here. And then you can turn on and off the outside keypad for the Jackson system if people are playing around with you in an RV park or something. This is a Kleenex box. I think this is phenomenal use of it. It's a big Kleenex box, and I just have it command strip to the top and the back. That way it's off of the counter and a nice way to use it. You can hang hooks kind of wherever you want. There's a core rail system up here by the light that I hung. This is a Rapala Smart Hub system. And I just got some of their hooks up here so you can hang towels, washcloths, whatever. You've got obviously a sink here. The sink can get covered up with this. Hot, cold, wash your hands, nice towel here, dry your hands off, and you're absolutely great. You got a nice little panel in here, so if you come in here at night and you want to just turn a bathroom light on, you can do that. Below the sink, this is normally where a battery might go, potentially, or other storage. I'm not actually sure if a battery goes in here. I got a lot of electrical things. Auger batteries, fans, cables, charging cords. I got a tool kit in here in case something, you know, you always got to have tools out on the ice in case something goes wrong. And then underneath there, this is where batteries normally go. I bought a big pack of toilet paper, so that's in here. It's RV toilet paper, so it's really cheap toilet paper in terms of like 2-ply. And then I've got paper towels, extra paper towels in there as well. So just kind of storage under there, which you wouldn't have had that if you have lead acid batteries. And then in here, you've got access to your front jack, where I've got just a bag in here, a plastic bag in here of clean rags. You never know if you need a clean rag to dry your hands off with, or for, you know, fish slime, that type of thing. So as we keep going around here, you've got one of the nicest features here from luxury standpoint. You got a shower. This thing is decked the heck out. Floor to ceiling, kind of nice waterproofing walls. Nothing in here is wood. It's an all aluminum frame, and you've got composite walls, panels, everything. Nothing's gonna rot, mold, mildew, fall apart on you, and no steel on it either. And what I really like is that this shower curtain comes out, so it will actually allow you more space in there when you're using it, and when you're not using it, it just bends in, so that way you've got more usable space here in the bathroom to use. And you've got, of course, your shower head. I added in a suction cup mount here to put toiletries in if you want when you're in the shower. And then I added in, this is a command strip hook for just like a towel. I will be doing several other videos on the channel on this and using this trailer this year. So look out for some of those videos. I'll be doing a full 1 year in review walkthrough at the end of the year with my honest, unbiased feedback. Drop your comments and questions down below. What are the things that you saw in here that you're the most impressed with? And I'd love to answer your questions. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, take it easy and tight lines, and hopefully I get my voice back.